I'm not.
Sorry about that. All right.
So,
So I think we got the disclaimers out of the way, which is no lawyers, no
no
financial
financial advice.
advisors. We are licensed. Yes.
And we do give really good advice.
Yes. We do give good advice.
And we got Judy Perry joining us. Nice. Thank you, everybody. It's going to
Yeah.
be a
We have
different kind of conversation. Mom,
a full
everybody
house
can watch
today.
you eat right now, just so you know.
Oh, God.
Everybody can see you.
I'm leaving.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye,
so maybe
Mom.
we should clarify. If you're joining us on the Zoom call, you are a guest on the show. You do not have to participate, but you are being broadcast. Everybody can see you. And if you do decide to chime in, it is live streaming right now on my personal Facebook page. Perhaps I guess I should make that clearer.
I can't seem to get off.
I can take care of
There,
that
I
for
got
you.
it.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Mom.
She's so cute.
She's adorable. I love it. Let's see how much longer she's on still.
I know. I'm gonna just Mom,
I said leave. Leave.
there she goes. Okay. That was delightful. Off to a roaring start. So we've got some really good topics today, though, that are pretty big and meaty. Starting, I mean, I kind of want to start with the foreclosure conversation, but I think the money one is probably more relevant with the volume, the sheer volume of real estate purchases happening right now. So let's talk about mattress money. David, I'm going to mute you because I hear like fabric on a microphone. Unmute yourself if you want to say something, though. Is that cool?
Totally fine. Sorry.
All right, cool. No, you're fine. Okay, so Cassandra, let's talk about mattress money. For anybody watching, what does that mean? I know what it means. I want to know what you think it means.
Mattress money is any money that there's no paper trail to, really. Money
Wait.
sitting in your safe, money under your mattress, cash, the change in my car. It's all mattress money. Basically, if it's not in a bank and isn't sourced like from a pay stub or something like that, it's mattress money.
So in a scenario, and I'm going to cut right to a scenario because I have early in my career, I took mattress money from clients I didn't know, right? I didn't know. And how would I? Because so here's the scenario. I had a client buying a property and this buyer was maybe a little bit of a, let's see, I don't even know what to say because I am one too. You know, I like to keep a little cash hidden around everywhere just in case because I'm a doomsday prepper. I like to have cash. So this client is buying I know that's where it comes from. This client is buying a property and needs to put some earnest money down. So I was like, okay, I think it was like $5,000. So client comes and gives me a stack of fucking hundreds. $5,000 cash that I took as the earnest money. And you know, part of the process on the back end is to like share a copy of the earnest deposit with the other side of the transaction and with the lender. I know that now. So what did I do? I put all those hundreds on the copier and scan a copy of the $100 bills. Dollar bills, y'all.
I'm just going to assume everybody has done that at some point. It's nothing. It means nothing.
What do you mean?
I can't source it.
It's money. What do you mean source it? What does that mean? Speaking of foreign language here, what is
any money used to buy a house per federal rules, and you can thank 9/11 for this, right?
Oh.
It's anti-money laundering, anti-terrorism stuff.
Okay.
Any money involved in a house purchase, unless you're paying cash because you have, you know, $300,000 in mattress money and you're just going to buy it with cash. But if you're getting financing, all the money into the transaction has to be sourced, meaning...
let's come back to the full cash purchase conversation.
Yeah, that's not a...
No, because I think the title company might give a shit. But let's go just for the mortgage. So you go.
So just for the mortgage, money used...
Kidding. I'm sorry.
Stop it. Okay, any money used in the transaction has to be sourced, meaning it has to come out of a checking account or a savings account or a money market account, and I need to see the money come out and match the amounts of the earnest money deposit check, right? So I can't stress to you enough as a realtor how you should refuse a money order. Flat out refuse it, because it's the equivalent of cash.
Okay, because if I take my my hypothetical $5,000 earnest deposit and I go to Western Union and buy a money order.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I should do then with my $5,000 is take it out of my mattress, put it in the bank, and then just immediately write a check. Does that work?
No.
What?
No.
But I put it in the bank. You said I had to come from the bank.
So what you should do with your $5,000 is spend it and write a check out of the money that's sitting in your bank account. The cash is no good here. Your cash is no good. We're like Kroger or anybody else who won't take freaking cash at this point, because I can't source it. You can't take a picture of your safe and say, I've got thousands of dollars. You know why? The lender assumes it's drug money or it's terrorism money. So you basically have to follow pay stubs, right? That kind of stuff, unless you deposit it and wait 2 months.
Why 2 months? What happened?
Because after 60 days, the money is considered seasoned and you no longer have to source it. So I'm not telling you how to commit fraud. I'm saying if you have a bunch of money saved up to buy a house, these are the guidelines. If you have a bunch of money saved up and you wanted to use it to your house to buy a house, let's see, it's July 23rd. Put it in now, and then you can buy on September 24th.
Okay.
And use that money.
Yep. Now, so let's talk about some of the nuances that we've encountered. I think on a deal we did together, we had a client who did, because one of the things you look at, if I understand your job correctly, is my bank statements. If I'm buying a house and you see a gigantic cash deposit, you need to know where that comes from. We just covered that.
And if I can't know where that comes from, if you went and took cash out of your safe and put it in your bank, guess what I'm going to do? I'm ignoring the money.
Backing it out.
And not only that, so it can actually hurt you double, because say you put $5,000 in there and you write $4,000 worth of checks that have nothing to do with the house, and your balance is now $1,000. I'm backing out $5,000.
So I have zero.
You are negative money. You've hurt yourself twice.
Yep.
A lender goes, oh, you put in $5,000. I have to, and now your balance is $1,000. So now I have to take away $5,000 from $1,000. Your balance is negative $4,000.
So now what happens if I go sell my motorcycle? Like I decide I don't ride motorcycles anymore and I sell it to a guy across the street and he gives me 10 grand cash. I got to put that in the bank, but he's just some guy. And what if he shows up with 10 grand cash and I'm asking 12, but because it's cash, I'm like, oh, I'll give you a deal.
That sounds awesome. Give me a copy of where you listed it. Give me a copy of the title showing that you transferred the title to him. Give me a bill.
All of this.
Give me a bill of sale, and you better give me a Kelley Blue Book value showing that you sold it at correct. However, there are some weird, it's a pain, but so you can sell stuff. It just requires documentation. The weirdest thing I've ever had sold was goats, hay, but those bills of sale are, you know, usually $500 and they're handwritten. But I mean, you just have to document it.
So my chicken, like my egg money, my $3 per dozen, that I'll never recover the cost of those damn chickens.
Right.
Even at $3 a dozen. That's not going to do it. I sell a year's worth of eggs, a dozen eggs every other day. I got a decent amount of money. I can't just deposit that and tell you where it came from. I have to show you.
Yeah. So I would make a recommendation.
Sourcing.
If you are a person who has cash, and you are getting ready to buy a house, and you
mean like paper cash, mattress money, right?
I mean cash, that you don't have in the bank because something could happen. You might need to grab cash for whatever reason. Our dad's like that. You're like that. Others like that. I mean, I get it.
Just a little bit, though. Just a little bit.
I'm going to cause you significant pain and beg you to spend your cash and just let your check stubs build up in your bank account. It goes against everything you've had to spend this cash. spend the cash. You take the cash and you go get a check to pay your mortgage or to pay your
Yes.
credit card bill, right? Get a money order for that shit and let
Well,
your
and
money build up in the bank account.
yes, and conceptually, what you're talking about is this is a hoop that you have to jump through if you're gonna use that cash to
Yep.
buy a house. Like it, I'm gonna almost call it a workaround. You're just gonna, instead of, what do I want to say? Instead of pulling the money out of your checking account and having the cash sit here, you're gonna spend the cash so the money sits in your checking account because it's already sourced. So
Yeah.
you're just like, words like leverage and kicking the can, but those
You're
aren't right.
spending the same money, just
Yes,
a different out of a
burden.
different bucket.
Different account. If you think of psychologically, if you think of your mattress as an account, you're just going to
Mattress
spend out
account.
of this account. Yeah, spend out
Yeah,
of the mattress account while you're going to buy a house, because then all of this money's already sourced from your, from your W-2 or wherever your whatever income comes from.
Yes, and you're going to have such a better experience and not feel like the loan officer or the underwriter is busting your balls, to be honest,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
not. We're really following the
Yeah.
rule that the government set, which is sourcing all large deposits. And
let's,
like, I'm just living my life. Why are you judging how I live my life? Well, the rules
Yes.
tell me I have to make sure
Well,
that the
and
money is legal.
here's the thing, you can absolutely live your life, but you can't get a federally backed mortgage also. Like if you want to sell acid or whatever it is that you're doing illegally, then do that. I mean, I'm not endorsing that, but
What
I'm
is
saying,
it, 1995?
listen, my drug experience is so obviously limited. Okay, stop. What? Oh, give me math. Okay, math. Meth is meth the thing.
Better.
Say you got a meth lab and you're making all this cash. We're not saying, well, we are saying it's illegal and you shouldn't do it. But more importantly, what we're saying is you can't use that money to also get a mortgage. You can't have both. You can't ride under the radar and then step up into society and say, well, I want a mortgage. Well, these are the fucking rules and your money has to match the rules. Otherwise, find a different way to buy a house. Go to a loan shark. I think that's illegal too, but pure argument.
It is illegal on primary residences, but you can
Okay.
get one on a second or an investment property anyway. But
Well, okay. So, I mean, understanding the rules of money it's kind of like you can be a nudist, but you can't be a fucking nudist in public because there are laws against it. Same with mortgages. Like you can be all cash and not pay taxes. If you're getting away with it, whatever. I don't care. But if you want to get a mortgage, there are rules around that.
yeah.
So
So-
you can't have it both ways.
And just so everybody knows, this came about because Rachel and I were having a discussion about what?
So I just see these comments. I'm sorry. I wish that my face wasn't such a tell. Mom says, so dad just gave me a couple of grand mattress money. How to put in the bank? I transferred it to Marcus. How long would we have to wait?
60 days
Okay, so yeah, two statements.
for a house.
Really, yeah,
60
to buy a house.
days.
Yes.
Go get a 60-day transaction receipt.
Yep. And
if you're using it in the house, yes.
Yep. So if it, and what you're saying is it doesn't have to be in my checking account. Like I have a Marcus account, I have money sitting in there. And if I want to tap that to put down on a house, all I have to do is show you my Marcus statement, right?
Yeah.
As long as the money's.
However,
yeah.
can I also talk about money on bank statements where people randomly transfer from account into a checking account and all they give me is like the checking account statement and I go, hey, you're putting money from somewhere else. I need that. And they go, no, you don't. And I go, you're pouring money in. I have to see all the accounts that are moving in and out of that account. It's super fun. So to be fair, I don't give a shit where you put your money, where you spend your money. I don't care about that. I don't have to source that. I'm not going to judge you because you go to the casino too much or because you go out to eat 3 days a week or any number of things I see. I don't care where you spend it. I do care where it's coming from. What did you say?
Oh, I said she's lying. She's so judgy. I'm kidding.
Have I ever even that gossiped on charges I see? Because I see some
and you guys,
shit.
she's
Okay, yeah.
refined my house enough to know that I spend a lot of money eating out, like embarrassing amounts of money. And on
Less
alcohol
than
too.
most. Less than most.
See? Well, I feel above average. Thank you. Or
Yeah.
below average. I guess it
You're
depends
below
on how you
average.
look
Yeah.
at it. Yeah. Or above. I mean, it feels better to say I'm above average. But anyway, back to the money.
I think
It
we're
has
done
to
with
be
money.
sourced. Yeah, except for last little bit. And I feel like this is in line with what we're already talking about. What if I am borrowing money from mom and dad? I don't have enough money or I don't want to use mine. And I go to mom and dad and I'm like, hey, Laura, can I have some of that mattress money? Can I use
So
somebody else's money?
you may not borrow money
What?
unless,
Side deal. I'll pay you back.
no. So you
No?
can borrow money to buy a house. However, it must be against real property and you must source it and count the monthly payment of that new loan against you. Okay?
So if I'm getting money from mom and dad, I should probably work out a deal where they just give
That
it to me.
must be a gift. There's a
Gift
gift.
funds.
It's a gift letter. Sometimes we have to see it come from the donor's account. Sometimes we don't. It depends on the loan program.
So, and it sounds like a gift letter is a way to source funds.
No.
Right? Right. Well, yeah, if
Yes
I
and no.
magically, I guess all I'm getting at is, I'm trying to summarize, because if I come to you with $5,000 cash, you can't source it. But if I come to you with a $5,000 random deposit, along with a letter from my mom saying she gave me $5,000, along with her bank statement showing a check to me clearing for $5,000, that's sourcing the funds, right?
That is sourcing the funds.
Okay.
But you would, and it sounds simple and straightforward, and how could it get messed up? I can't tell you the number of people who miss one of those things. Mom
Yeah.
gave them cash and mom didn't write a check, right? And it's an FHA loan. Like if it's an FHA loan, I have to source the donor's money.
Mhm.
If it's a conventional, I don't care. The donor could have gotten it out of their mattress.
Okay,
But,
so
like, there are little nuances, and it doesn't always, there's not one answer for everything. You heard me right. Do you want to hear the worst part?
wait, I have an idea. Just
Wait.
thought of another workaround. Go ahead.
Okay, so the best part is that as long as we source all the money that's needed,
Mm-hmm.
when you actually get to closing, you can open your safe and take money out and go get a cashier's check. We don't actually have to get it out of your checking account. We just have to make sure you have it sourced legally in your checking account.
Mm-hmm. Well, and sorry, there's a gnat. You guys, I just realized you guys can see that. Okay, I'm like mom eating breakfast. Like
I know, you're like, okay, so what's your other idea?
No, my thought was, okay, let's say I'm in a weird corner. Well, step one, I think, is if you're going to do anything other than take money out of your account that has been sitting there forever, you should probably check with your loan officer before you do it. But if I have a conventional loan and I have $5,000 in my mattress that I want to use, it might behoove me that I need to use, I guess I should say, it might behoove me to go talk to my mom, give her the $5,000 on the back end and have her gift me the money so I can source it. So you can source it. Is that fraud? No.
I have had many side conversations with
realtors inside of the
loan
guidelines.
originator. I cannot give that advice. I cannot advise you to do that. I think,
though.
Why, Rachel? I think that's a brilliant idea, and I've never thought of that before. Right. How about that?
As an agent, I can say those things to my client all day long.
You totally can if you know that rule. Absolutely.
Oh, so you might make sense to have an agent and a loan officer who are communicating with each other, not operating in two separate vacuums, and they're on the same page and they know their business and that's their full-time gig. Is that what I did not expect to be going here?
They
but
should
that
probably have licenses and have a time where they talk every week, like at 10:30 on a Thursday.
I see where you go. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah,
no, but really, like,
yeah.
I tell my clients this often. And it's true. I don't give a flying fuck where they get their money from. What I do care is that the loan officer knows their business and is available when business is happening. And I feel like that runs both ways. As a loan officer, and we're kind of on a total rabbit trail here, but as a loan officer, I mean, how is it working with a part-time agent? Because any fucking monkey can get a real estate license in Michigan. Like, it's unbelievably easy to do, especially when laid out alongside with of how difficult this job is when it's done correctly.
Are
So
you
how is
asking
it?
me how it
Well,
really is?
yeah, like do you see a difference? Because I listen, I only
It's
have the
fucking
perspective
awful.
of
It's
myself.
awful. It's awful. It's a stark contrast in how quickly we're able to get documents back, how smooth the transaction goes, the responsiveness of like
Client experience.
I would assume the client experience is not great. And the worst part, the most frustrating part for me is that client has no idea how amazing it could be. They
Yep.
just think that it's normal, but it can be freaking
Same.
seamless and like, oh my God, what an enjoyable experience I had buying a house.
It's almost a motherfucker, because when it goes that way, it looks like I didn't work very hard, and it looks like
Same
you
here.
didn't work very hard. I know,
Yeah.
I know. I've had amazing loan officers, you and others, and I've had shitbag loan officers. I mean, sometimes the client just shows up with a relationship already in place, and I can advise and guide and coach, but I'm not gonna force or
Steer. You can't
cajole
steer.
or
Sure.
steer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
What should
again,
you do?
I don't care where the money comes from, but boy, when it feels like that much work on the client's part, no wonder I don't know. It's a treacherous conversation sometimes, in a treacherous position. But it doesn't have to be hard to buy a house. It's not painful. And as the client, I feel like for the amount of money that everybody behind the transaction is making, and I mean everybody, you, your company, my brokerage, me, the title company, all the reps at the title company, the
government,
processors, the government, the taxes, like everybody's got their finger in the pie. You as the buyer or seller should not be busting your ass. You shouldn't be chasing down your own pre-approval letter. You shouldn't be calculating your own goddamn taxes. I mean, having the ability to get your bearings on whether or not you can buy a house is fine, but you shouldn't be having to negotiate your own shit and call your loan officer and then calling your realtor because they're not fucking talking to each other. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I have opinions. It's infuriating.
They're valid.
Yeah, they are. Well,
yeah.
Part of it too is when you know how good it can be, it's even harder to watch it be bad. Watching people going through an
experience. It's hard to live it when you're just like, oh my God, why this could be so much better.
It's kind of like watching the first time I watched my daughter get her heart broken. It was like so hard, and I know I can't do anything. And it's kind of like that when people that I know are going through real estate deals and they just fucking suck. Listen, now it's a total rabbit trail, but a friend of mine, someone that I admire, was selling a property, and I was not the agent, and I'm fine with that, right? Like everybody knows a fucking real estate agent. No bitches, no complaints. And I know it's always easy to Monday morning quarterback someone else's work. But for the amount of money that the agent is making on this deal, I could throw up with what a shitty job the marketing is looking like. And I always wonder, like, is that agent doing shitty marketing so that it increases the likelihood that people will reach out to them directly and they want to double end it? Or are they just lazy? Or do they not care? Like shit, like.
Can we have a side conversation about this listing? Because I feel like I know what it is. And
don't. I'm not going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Engage. Okay.
No, and it's fucking hide the dog food, close the toilets. Like for that kind of money, like I look at $100,000 property, and if I'm doing my job right and I'm selling $100,000 property, I'm probably going to net around $1,700 or $1,800 before taxes. That's like my broker gets paid, everybody gets paid, and then I pay taxes out of that. So what is that?
We're supposed to
times.
talk about forbearance and foreclosure.
I know. So out of $1,300, I feel like I can hide your fucking dog food dishes before I take your pictures. That's all. That's all I got to say. Just know that you are paying really good money. So,
Boy, you have opinions.
I do. Okay, let's talk about foreclosures. So this is, I got to qualify the crap out of this, but I've had this conversation privately too many times to ignore. And I do believe that, you know, when you're having private conversations or answering the same question more than 3 or 4 times, you kind of got to get public with it. So at risk of having to eat my words, and I totally hope I have to eat my words, I do feel like there is a bubbling up potentially of foreclosures coming our way. And I don't have a fucking crystal ball, and I hope I'm wrong. Values are just like screaming upward, like screaming so fast upward that appraisers can't keep up with contract sale prices, at least in my market. And again, this is me talking about my market, what I'm
Get
seeing.
to the meat of it.
If you have been not making your mortgage payment due to COVID, and possibly you lost your job or you've been on unemployment, which is a lot of money for some people, more than you were making working, all of that is about to come to a screeching halt. And I think that people need to know that if you are not able to make your fucking mortgage payment, call me, call an agent you trust, and put that fucking thing on the market, because inventory is constrained. And I feel like there's a very tight opportunity and window coming where you can put your house on the market, sell it for more than you owe, and not end up 6 months, 8 months, 12 months from now having a foreclosure because you were, I don't know, people get immobilized by fear, right? And by the time the bell is rung, if the bad things that I'm talking about start to happen, by the time you look around and go, oh shit, values will probably be plateaued or dipping a little bit, because you won't be the only one. So if you're feeling like looking forward isn't great, leverage what you know about your own financial situation and get in the front of the line and put your property on the market. It's probably not ever been worth more than it's worth right now in Southeast Michigan. At least in
So
the
can I tell you another positive to doing this? So if you're in forbearance and you haven't been making your mortgage payment, your credit has not suffered at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you sell your home, if you're worried that you will not be able to pay your home and you decide to, the positive to deciding to sell it is that you're going to sell it for top dollar. You're going to take money that will pay rent for a year until shit gets normal and cover your bills, right?
Yep.
And you're not going to, versus the alternative, which is sit in a house and squat and wait and holy shit, and now I'm in foreclosure, and now you cannot buy a house for at least 4 years.
Good luck finding a place to rent with that on your score.
So at least if you did it now, you have assets from the proceeds of your sale to find a place and leverage that, and your credit remains good.
And it's all about leverage. This isn't personal. And I'll add in that banks, after the last economic downturn, got really good at foreclosures. Where they used to have 1 or 2 people in a back room somewhere, they now have full departments that can process and manage. So I do think that the days of whatever stories you heard about people staying in their house for 2 years without making a payment because the banks were inundated with so many properties that they were not equipped to process, it's gone. You're going to get your notice. You're going to get out of the house. You know why?
Because banks know that house is worth money. They're going to kick you out. They're going to do the foreclosure, get you out of it so they can sell it at top dollar and recoup their money and probably make money, which technically is your money to make if you sell it. So just
get out of your head. Get off of the weird failure shame emotions, because I know I've had them too. I've had some financial losses in the economic downturn, but those are valueless unless I take the lesson and implement them and maybe educate some other people.
Well, it's interesting to me that you're getting asked that. That's
It's a
all.
giant, yeah, it's a giant unknown. And I'm not saying go sell your house because this is coming, but I'm saying take what you know about your financial situation and know that if you think that you, and this is true regardless of the pandemic, if you start to see that you are not able to make your mortgage payment and it looks like you won't be able to recover, taking some action can like just change the trajectory of your future. And a good agent can help with that. And the external environment of the market right now says sell your house. I've considered selling my house just because I know I'll never get more than it's worth right now unless I stay here for another decade.
Well, I think it's really interesting that so many people get decision paralysis
Yes.
when faced, right? When feeling overwhelmed and they go, I'm just
Yes.
going to do nothing and maybe it'll go away. Well, we all know it doesn't go away.
Well,
So
and
at least
there's
take a
an,
step to find out if there's a solution. You could,
yes, it's a
I
phone
mean,
call
it's just a phone call.
or a message me, message Cassandra, message someone who has their finger on the pulse of your market.
And not only that, you have there's local housing authorities who
Yeah.
are there to help you keep your house as well.
Yep.
However, it is important to chat with someone just to see the writing on the wall or have them perhaps hold up a mirror for you
Yeah.
and let you
that's really
know
perfect.
if just even some impartiality there, like or yeah, I think maybe with these tweaks it might be possible. It's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. And the decision paralysis sometimes can come from, if you are so overwhelmed by just making ends meet, a lot of times there's just not room in your brain to try and figure out from a high level view which pieces need to be moved to solve the problem, which
Yeah.
is where talking to somebody, anybody can help. And I don't mean call your mom and bitch because your mom knows what your mom knows, but unless your mom's a financial professional, she's just going to be telling you her opinion based on her life. No, and I'm not trash talking my own mom. I was just using that as a representative
Yeah.
example.
Moms in general.
Yeah. Or dads or your brother or your girlfriend who's in the same fucking boat. Like you got to look to somebody who solves those problems.
Well, so
I
we've
don't
talked
mean to
about
be
the
bossy.
forbearance. I'm going to just really quick mention, I'm sorry, we were talking about foreclosure, but I'm going to mention the
Yes,
forbearance.
please.
So if you're in the middle of a forbearance right now, there are some rules and guidelines if you want to refinance or
Yes.
if you want to sell your house and buy another house.
What are they?
So really broadly speaking, you are eligible to do it right away if you can catch up on the past amount that is missing, right?
Okay,
So
so let's use,
sorry, my phone's ringing.
that's right. Can we, hold on. Can I use, it helps me better if I feel like we're dealing with an actual client. So let's pretend that I am $6,000 of payments I haven't made, 2, 4, 6, 3 months at $2,000 a piece, haven't made my mortgage payment. So right now, today, I owe $6,000 plus I have another mortgage payment coming. You're saying I have to qualify to sell my house?
So if you want to refinance your house,
Refinance.
you must. So there's two. No, either one. So this is what I'm trying to say. So in either option, whether you want to refinance your current house or buy a new house, these are the rules.
But I can still sell no matter what. I don't have to qualify to sell my current house, right? As long as
sell and go live in a dumpster as long as I get, for all I care. To buy and to refinance.
Okay.
You can sell and go live with your mom or your sister if she doesn't sell her house before you get there.
I'm moving in with you.
No, I'm moving in with you.
No, you've got a pool.
That's true, but that's all the backyard is, just a pool.
That's a bonus. No mowing.
That's true. And a robot does keep it clean. So anyway, if you're in forbearance now and you want to buy a new home or you want to refinance your current home, you have two options. Either you catch up on all the past due.
So I have to find the $6,000.
Find the $6,000, pay it, and then you can do it immediately.
And I can pay that with mattress money, can't I?
I don't give a shit because you're right. You're not writing a check to me. You're
boom
sending it to your current servicer.
Bringing it full
mattress
circle.
money later. Or you can get the fuck out of forbearance and make 3 on-time payments, and then you're eligible to refinance or buy a home. So this is kind of important because we're just loan officers. I have my first one right now, and I'm hearing of loan officers just now getting into this where we have buyers and people asking to refinance who did take forbearance, and all of the rules for this shit is brand new to us. Just so you know, this isn't like we haven't pandemicked before, let alone in the lowest rate environment on the planet. But so, and here's the thing, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Cassandra, I have a 4% rate right now, and I'm on forbearance, and that's been really nice. And so it's nice having that reprieve from the house. Get me a rate at 1.5%. Go jump off a bridge. You haven't paid your house payment in 3 months. No.
Yeah,
why would a lender do that?
Risk. Yep.
Oh, yeah, let me loan you money at a cheaper rate so that you can continue to not pay me. I mean, that's a huge risk for lenders. So they're asking you to either bring it current or make 3 on-time payments. But again, you can sell your house without waiting for anything. It's just buying that next one.
Yeah.
With anything other than mattress
Okay,
money.
so we've got a couple of more minutes here. If I'm $6,000 behind because of my forbearance, and I sell my house, and my note, let's say it was 200 grand. I sold my house for 250. I paid off the 200 grand, but I was still in the forbearance. Wouldn't that bring me current? And then I could go buy another house, but I guess I'd have to wait. I'd have to close on the sale, wait for it to hit.
I tried to make that argument.
It won't work.
No.
Because I sold my house while I was in forbearance without catching up the arrearage, it's closer to a foreclosure or a cash for keys than it is to a actual sale. So it really is in my best interest to find fucking $6 grand and then sell my house.
It's in your best interest to pay your fucking mortgage if you can afford to pay your mortgage. I understand not everybody can. However, I also understand from what the news tells me, and I'm not trying to be a sheep or anything, a lot of people who are currently struggling were getting the extended unemployment benefits and making more on that than they were working full time.
Yes.
Plus there was the stimulus, but I mean, it's been months and we haven't seen a second round of that. But anyway.
No, well, you're bringing this full circle, this is why I'm having the foreclosure conversation more often and privately, because that scenario on top of, people are losing their jobs, but they're not feeling the impact of it quite yet in many cases. So what may happen, I don't want to say what's going to happen, but what may happen is money dries up. And when people went home and stopped working, McDonald's was paying $12 an hour. It was very easy to find a job because good talent was in short supply. And I do feel like talent may be a little bit more available. Positions are being removed, and you're going to have to fight harder for those jobs. You will have competition, possibly. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'm like pussyfooting around this. It's entirely possible that a lot of people lost their jobs and they're going to be looking for jobs when their unemployment runs out.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the statistics broken down by the people who are filing. I do know a lot of them are service industry jobs.
Of course.
And services are very hard to get. I would kill to go get a massage right now. Like, that sounds whatever, but like, oh my God, there are services I want to buy that I can't. I want to spend my money. I can't.
Yep. And that's the other thing. So there's like a forced restriction of the amount of those businesses. I go to a restaurant and they're at half capacity. I've waited tables. That would fucking suck.
Yeah. Oh, so
I would stay home and take the pandemic money instead of doing that. Especially if people are still tipping 15 to 20%. Fuck that.
Well, a lot of people are taking the forbearance, and it's a calculated forbearance. A lot of loan officers talk about this behind the scenes is, well, why wouldn't you take a forbearance? If you don't plan to leave your house, take the forbearance, skip the mortgage payment, take that money and save it, or pay down your other debt.
That's the piece that gets skipped. Go ahead.
It's wonderful to do. A lot of people are like hoarding that or just encasing that money.
Mattressing.
And I get that. which is fine, and continue to do that. However, don't expect to refinance. Don't expect to buy a new house without, if you've chosen that as your strategy, as your bet. If you've gone all in on hoarding mattress money, stimulus
Yes.
money, and not
Yes.
making your mortgage payment, don't expect to have your cake and eat it too, I guess.
Yep, and you're absolutely right. You have to execute the whole strategy, not just the first half where you collect the money. You have to do
Yeah.
the thing with the money that you were going to do with it.
Yeah, the money's there to help you pay your bills. Like, that's what the money was there for. And I understand that consumer spending is down, obviously, and I understand consumer debt is considerably down because a lot of people, and I've talked with a lot of them, have taken this opportunity to pay down their debt.
Yep. And obligations. I mean, outgoing.
That's what I mean. Yes, outgoing. Well, that, and you can't go spend. I can't. You know how much stuff my kids. I can't even spend money to put my kids in a camp or.
Yes. Yep.
I can't
Cash
go to
that would
the
normally
theme
flow.
park or. I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it will be interesting. I do feel like the next 6 or 8 weeks are going to show us which path we're headed down. And I got to chime in here because Mom made a comment a little bit ago. You're fighting emotional attachment here when we were talking about, like, if your finances personally are pointing toward you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
That immobilization also comes from emotional attachment. She's absolutely right. People, I am one of them. My house is a reflection of me and my family, and I have objects in here that I love, and I picked shit out, and it's a tough pill to swallow if I would have to let it go because I can't.
I know.
Can't pay for it anymore. Can you see Mom's comment?
You should be wearing masks.
But then nobody could hear us. I can't hear people if I can't see their mouth moving. So.
Really?
I'm by myself. Don't do that. Why are you so mean to me?
I just want to know if you can hear me.
I can, but it's harder. It's like turning down the radio when I'm driving in the dark. I gotta turn down the radio to see the name of the road that I'm looking for.
I'm concentrating.
That's right. Concentrate, concentrate, concentrate.
Yeah.
Echo, echo, echo. Can anybody?
I get it's an emotional thing. I'm glad you brought it up because if people are asking you on the side or you've had at least 3 requests, it means more than one person's thinking about it. And 2008 is still fresh in a lot of people's memories.
Yes.
That is fresh in a lot of first-time home buyers' memories because they were kids and watched their parents lose their house.
Yes, totally.
Hi, Judy.
Yeah, so we have 1 more minute. So I guess the lesson, if we're handing out a 1-sentence lesson, I have to work so hard to do this. Okay. It's all about money. Know your money.
Yep. Know your money. It's okay. It's just money.
Yeah, I like that. It is just money. That's perfect.
You'll make
it's
more.
It's perfect for the mattress, and it's perfect for the foreclosure conversation. It's just money.
It's just money.
Well done. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, Cassandra. Bye, David.
Bye.